Now I will open space for questions and answers. If members of the jury have questions, we can proceed. If not, we will continue. Yes, please, go on. Now you're on.
Quick question. Are all these cases documented someplace? Or are they just anecdotal?
I'm sorry, what?
All these cases that have been cited today, is there a central place where they are documented?
I do call Ms. Francis just to come up and please answer this question, since you have been being very accurate about these sexual assaults and violations of.
All the data from Damir is very well documented. Part of it is already issued in report public on our website, and some were submitted to the ICC and the ICJ and the other special procedures, and lately like for the Committee Against Torture. So we can also share it. Those that they are not published on the website, we can share it directly with the joint.
And just very quickly, are these anecdotal or are these systematic, that they're happening to 10%, 20%, 30% or more of the prisoners?
The problem in the sexual harassment issues, like from my experience, I visited more than 145 detainees alone from Gaza. Very few of them shared with me this harsh experience. And those who decided to speak and to share, they were telling me that it was systematic, especially in Sdeiman detention facility, in Ofer detention, because in Ofer prison, there is a prison under the prison service, but there's a military camp that was developed after the war. So those who were in Ofer under the army, they were also facing lots of sexual violence, as well in the rest of the prisons, like because also police guards were involved in such actions. But most of the people were silent. They were not able to share this harsh experience.
One last question. I know this is very sensitive. All the examples are male prisoners. Are you aware of any rape against female prisoners?
To be very accurate, we in the organization, we didn't document a rape case against a female detainee in the current genocide. We have old cases. In 2015, we followed a case against a Palestinian physician from Hebron that she was raped. The case was brought to the investigating body inside Israel, and it reached a stage where the head of the investigating body recommended that there's a criminal file that should be opened, and they managed to close the file without any accountability. But other colleagues from the Gaza human rights organizations and international bodies documented rape cases against female detainees as well.
Just a question to you about, there have been many reports of the Israelis removing body parts from Palestinian prisoners. Can you say something about that?
Yes. So also in the issue of the organs and taking organs, I don't have a scientific confirmation and evidence on such issues. And there is like discussion whether it happens or not, but to be very clear, we don't have as an organizations any proof, any legal proof that this is happening. There's so many different circumstances why families would suspect that there's stealing organs, especially even before the war. Like this is a long history in the Palestinian prisoners context, because they keep the bodies in frozen situations. So, and when they give it back, they force the families to bury them immediately within 2 hours in very difficult conditions. Most of the cases went were buried without implementing autopsy, proper autopsy on it to prove whether, and the families were suspecting that they're taking cornea, exactly, because of the way how it looked after being for several years in frozen positions.
Thank you. Are all the cases of detention recorded by the Israelis, or do we have the phenomenon we've seen in other countries of essentially disappearance? People who've apparently been arrested but are never again heard of.
You mean registered the violations?
No, registered that they have been arrested and have been taken into detention, and so there's a record of where the person is.
So not all of them, because in the war, like after the genocide started, there's hundreds of cases of disappeared people where we communicated as lawyers with the army, and we were informed in several cases that the person is not arrested, is not there, and we informed the family that obviously he's not in prison, and in the exchange deal, some of them, they were released back. So they were literally forced disappeared for 2 years or 1 year and a half.
Okay, thank you. And can I follow up on an earlier question?
Just one quick. Is it for Ms. Francis or?
Either.
Okay, it's okay.
We know that sexual violence against women occurs in just about every conflict situation. And my colleague has asked about sexual violence against females in detention. What about sexual violence against females outside the detention situation in the areas of the genocide in the Gaza Strip? Is that occurring? Do we know? Do we have any evidence, information about that?
I assume this is a question for Ms. Francis too. Yep. Right, yes. Ms. Francis, please. Thank you, sorry.
So of course, it's very common, especially on checkpoints, on when they raid the houses, for example, to arrest someone, they would abuse and harass the whole family members, including women. And lots of stories were documented either by us or other colleagues in the Gaza genocide on all these checkpoints that they invented internally in the Gaza Strip. When we're forcing family to move from one area to another, there were lots of sexual harassment. And there were very severe cases where the Committee Against Discrimination on the UN level documented very strong cases about rape and sexual assault in the Gaza Strip against women that they were never detained. Some of them, they were executed as well. So it happened a lot. And for the detainees, of course, they face a lot of sexual harassment.
Very quick clarification. You said that currently there are 400 children and 53 women in detention.
Currently.
Even though the Trump plan called that all women and children would be released.
No, it was just relative to the Gaza detainees. The 2 women who were released in the exchange last week and the 15 boys who were released, they were all from the Gaza Strip. So those who remained in detention now, they are from the West Bank or from inside or Jerusalem or inside Israel.
But the Trump plan did not say Gaza. It said actually 250 who would be sentenced to life, all women and children, and then it says 1,700 from Gaza.
It's not true.
The reason I'm saying this is because this is what Hamas is saying, and Israel is saying the opposite. So what is the actual thing?
The actual figures is this.
The actual understanding.
Children and women, I mean now, currently, up till maybe it's more because in the last 2 days I wasn't following the statistics. 53 women are still in detention in a Damoun prison, and more than 400 children arrested and distributed in different prisons inside Israel.
Thank you. We have one more answer, and then we will proceed.
Just short clarifications on the points mentioned. First of all, there's a report published on March 2025 about More Than a Human Can Bear, and talks about women, men, children testimonies of sexual harassment, reproductive violence, and gender-based violence by Israel and different places. So there are stories, for instance, of a woman who had a C-section in a hospital, and Israeli ground invaded the hospital, they surrounded it, and they got into the hospital, and they threatened her of raping her in front of her husband, the woman who just had a C-section. There are also testimonies of, in that report and other reports of people, women, and also children, females, who had been forced to strip naked, who were sexually harassed, physically and sexually harassed, and some of them were forced to strip naked other men that they didn't know. There's also a UN testimony by one of the lawyers, and she talked about some women, 2 women from Gaza. One of them was gang raped by 2 soldiers, each at a time, and it's also videotaped. So sexual harassment, sexual violence, and rape are documented. But again, as Sahar have mentioned before, it's very difficult to systematically collect them because there's the shame and the fear and the PTSD and all the issues related to the rape itself, but then rape as a torture by a settler colonial power. Also about the autopsy in Gaza, you know that some bodies, 80 bodies in the last time were sent to Gaza, and all, like the killed bodies, and all of those bodies were searched by forensic doctors with autopsy at the beginning, and then they allowed the families to come and look after them and check if they know them, they recognize them or not. So some of the doctors, the forensic doctors, mentioned that there are some organs that have been removed, taken, stolen from the Palestinian bodies. Another thing that we need to speak about, and I don't think it's spoken about very clearly, which is not just the women, children, and men who were under forcibly disappearance, but also those who we have Israeli testimonies or Israeli evidence that they were taken, but we have no idea about them. Among them, the baby, the few months-old baby that was kidnapped by Israeli soldier, taken to Israel, and another Israeli soldier told her story. Another girl was last time, 9-year-old, was last time seen with Israeli soldier in a photo, and then she also disappeared. So those things we need also to keep our mind and our efforts on them. We need to understand where our children and what happened to them. Thank you.